Good morning, everybody. My name is Trevor, and welcome to Risen Valley Farm. This morning, it's a little cold this morning. It's about 22 degrees. I've been around the property line, so we purchased this property, and this 13 acres. Not a lot's been done to it in about 30 years since the last people that we bought it from purchased it, and it's been kept in hay, and it's been kept okay, every now and then, about like a foot or so off the tree line, it'll get a little bit thicker. It won't be cut, so trees grow and things like that. So that's kind of what I'm working on. I'd like to turn this into a usable farm. And so I walked around the property with my brother, who owns a farm not far from here. And so we walked along and looked and said, here's the fencing is actually all in pretty good shape. Except for where we want to put around the perimeter of the house. There's no fence at all. So we want to put some fence along the road. If you can see, like right here, right there, and there, those three trees we own. I'm almost at the back of our property, so we own all this land right here, up to those three trees right there. That's the road right there. So I've been around the whole property, just kind of walking along. If there's like big branches that have fell on the trees, we're just prepping for fence, hopefully this year, so if we can save up for it. So but right now I'm trying to do it like today's like the 9th of February, I think. So we need to do this like in the next 30 days, because trying to clear out, I've been here in the summer, and it would be just simply impossible to do to do this, to clear out fence lines and tree lines in that time of year. It would just be impossible. So right now, in the winter time is when you would want to do something like this, if you're trying to do something like this as well. So I'm just going along. If there's any big branches that have like weakened the fence, then I'm just cutting those off, trying to clear, there's a few sections over on one side of the fence that we need to put strands of barbed wire, where it's just a little bit weaker or it's a little bit lower. We're going to put a few strands of barbed wire there in the future for animals, just to make sure they don't go in people's yards and other fields. So I've also been cutting now. So at the very front, and we'll be there just in a minute, at the very front, I've kind of been trying to clear out. The only thing that we want at the front of the road are a few big, really nice trees, because we don't want a lot of brush. Like you can see, kind of all this along here, right there, is just full of trees and brush and everything. And as long as there's a fence in the middle of all that is going to keep the animals in, that's what we want. But at the front, we're going to put a 4-paneled black fence. It's really nice, really nice stuff. And so I want, there's no sense in putting a pretty fence in between a bunch of brush. So we're just going to put these, these few trees. You can almost see them right there. Maybe 5 or 7 trees at the front of the road, and then we'll have this black fence right behind it. And then the black fence will actually circle around. You can see the barn and the house kind of off in the distance there. It's going to circle around the perimeter of the yard right here. So that's kind of what we're right now. Just I'm prepping for the fence line, and also cutting down any trees that we just don't want, or I might see as a problem in the future. I cut down a few just a minute ago that were either hanging over onto my property that looked like they were older and might fall over. And like, even if we put a fence up, if you don't take care of that now, in 3 years when that tree dies and falls, then it's going to fall, and you got fence to tear up or fence to repair. And of course, we're going to have plenty of that going on anyway to repair all that fence. So if you can save yourself 1 or 2 of those, yeah, that would be good. And another thing, I've met several of my neighbors. I haven't got a chance to meet them all, but I've tried my best to make contact with a lot of these people, because you're sharing a fence with these people, and nobody else is going to have animals around me, or not yet. There's a few neighbors over here that have some dogs, but A good portion of my neighbor is, they have a few hundred acres that they have in row crop, and there's a farmer that leases that land from them. And so I tried to meet up with the owner, try to pass my number along to them and the farmer, because if one of my cows gets out or something, whenever I have cows, who knows? That's so exciting talking about cows. And so, you know, if they were ever to get out, they know who to call, so I can come and take care of things, because I don't want them, you know, eating up a bunch of soybean that somebody has in the next field, you know. So, you know, this really isn't a particularly exciting day, but when I get to put up fence, that will be an exciting day. So this leads to exciting things. So I'm still excited, you know, to summarize, I'm still excited even doing something like this. So we're going to cut down a tree here in a minute at the front of the road. It's just a dead tree that is going to fall, you know, after we put the fence up, and then I don't want to repair that. So so we're going to cut that down here in just a few minutes. Okay, so we're at the front of the property now, right by the road. There's my neighbor's house across the street. I've taken a 2-inch strap and tied it to the top of the tree as tall as I could get it, because we are right by the road, so I can't just drop it anywhere. I need it to drop on my side of the property. And I've also I cut some other trees down around it a little while ago, but I kind of made myself a path because I'm going to be pulling on this thing, and I need an exit. So that's really important, because there's lots of thorns and vines and stuff, and you don't want to get your leg caught around one trying to run away from a fallen tree, because you're going to lose. So anyway, but this tree is dead. The only thing that it's going to do now is fall on something, and sometimes it could fall at the wrong moment. You know, if it falls on my new fence, I won't be excited. But if it also falls on a car driving, or if it falls in the middle of the night and then a car is coming around and accidentally hits it, that's not a good thing either. So I think it's just best to go ahead and take care of it. So here we go. I just realized when I stopped last time, I was out of gas and I never put any back in. So, okay, now we got our gas and we're good to go. By the way, I'm using a Stihl chainsaw. In my opinion, the only chainsaw to get, especially out here. So, doing stuff like this. So, here we go. Well, that did it. I don't know if I've said this before. I'm pretty sure I have, but man, I don't half know what I'm doing out here. So don't take my advice as solid. You know, that probably wasn't very smart. If it was any bigger of a tree, I probably would have got a lot more strap or chain or rope or something and just tied it to a truck and made sure it was off a pretty good distance. But the way that it was growing, like I could tell that it was gonna, in fact, like when I started cutting, at the very end, I could see the tree going back against the roadway because my cut had got a lot smaller, and I was cutting on the roadside. So I could see that it was going that way. So I definitely needed to fall, I definitely knew that it needed some assistance coming on the field side. So that was good. I'm glad nobody else was out here but me and you. And so tree came down, nobody got hurt. I'm really glad I made that little exit route. I actually had one going to the road and to the field just in case, and I'm glad I did, because if my foot would have got caught in something, it would have been a bad day. And I'm supposed to go to the rodeo later today, so that wouldn't be good. So well, anyway, there you go. Just clearing out some fence so we can hopefully clearing out some tree lines so we can hopefully put up some fence later this year. Y'all have a great day. Thanks so much. Hey, if you like this video, please like our video, please comment, and also subscribe to our channel. Hey, thank y'all so much. Have a great day.